Welcome to the Principal Podcast, where we talk about how the best professional services firms grow. Whether you're looking to scale your firm or learn from the stories of founders and leaders who've done it, you're in the right place. Join us as we interview the best leaders in professional services. Let's get on with the show. Josh, welcome to the Principal Podcast. Happy to have you. It is my pleasure. Let's jump straight into it. What's the story, Josh? What got you to build the consulting practice that you have right now and helping out home service businesses?
Yeah, so it's not a great story, but it is a real story. No,
even more interesting now.
Yeah, most of my career, the truth is, like, I tripped on opportunities. Like, I just keep my eyes open, and I'm an opportunist. So, Clover is Grow with Clover. I'm a contractor myself. I own to operate. My family owned to operate the largest home service business in the United States. Do roughly 300 million just in Phoenix this year. I'm not day to day in that. For a while, we sold private equity years and years ago. But after that, I really worked for, a multi-billion-dollar VC-backed business. I was an executive. I committed to them for a year. I was flying back and forth to San Francisco. Great experience, learned a shit ton, but it just wore me down. And so after I quit that, I started talking to people, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out. I'm going to take a couple months off. And like I'd never taken off time in my entire life. Like, I've worked since I was like 13. Right. And, I'm just an idiot. And I tripped on it. Like, I started getting phone calls from buddy. He goes, I heard you weren't working. Can you just come visit my shop? I need help with this, operations, marketing, sales. Everybody had a different thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll just come. I'll come do that. And you can pay me whatever. We'll pay like 20 grand a day or something like that. And I started taking a few clients like that. And just by chance, like, people just found out I wasn't working at the time and I was available. So they started hitting up my phone. I remember having a conversation with my wife, like, real story. Like, I'll do this for like a few months until I figure out like what to do. And then next thing I know, I'm like hiring a team and like create a process and buying businesses and I tripped on it. So it wasn't like a purposeful, I wanted to do this. It was, I tripped on it. And then once I got into it, it became really addicting, right? Like, I've helped, over 28 businesses now reach 9 figures in sales. I've helped hundreds, really thousands of businesses grow pretty drastically. And like, you could change people's lives. And it's like, you don't know what you don't know. And like, sometimes in a few hours, I could change the entire trajectory of a family. Create generational wealth for them or whatever, just by pointing out some things that they walk by every single day that, if their eyes were really open, they would see. So, not a great story, but it's where I'm at.
Why are you underselling it like this? This is badass. I like it.
No, because everybody's like, I created this idea. I set out with a purpose. Like, I've been in so many businesses, and I own businesses across the United States in multiple industries. And never has it been like, I really wanted to do this. It's like, ooh, that's a good opportunity. And I know how to do that. And like, you just trip into it. Next thing you know, you're making money.
So I think the story that people tell once they've made it is quite different from what actually is there. And it's fine, right? It's storytelling. You take certain part of the stories and so on. But what really is happening is we have no clue what we're doing, man. All of us, we're just figuring it out as we go. And we trip on it. We're like, oh shit, that worked. And I make 100 grand from this. Okay, cool. Let's do more. And that's how it works. So I like the authenticity. So bring us to today. What is it that you're helping people do now? What is it that you're helping them achieve exactly?
Yeah. So I specialize in the home service industry because it's my background, right? And like, I'm in board seats for like adjacent businesses. So like softwares and AA companies that service the home service business. But really what I do is I help marketing, sales, operations for, I do have some PE clients, private equity clients that I help significantly because I really tied into private equity because of my background. But for the most part, it's mom and pop shops in the home service business. Those could be $50 million businesses, or they could be $5 million businesses, right? And some of them could be $500,000. That's probably not an ideal fit for me, right? Because I think more scalably and larger scale. And there's nothing wrong with somebody who does $500,000 out of their house and they run one truck. That's a good living, but it's not a business. And that's just not what I'm excited about, right? So what I really do is, help them, number one, with mindset, because if I don't fix their mindset first, then they won't implement all the ideas. And then it's operational systems, processes, ideas, concepts that are working across the United States, give them access to it that they probably wouldn't without me. The truth is, like, I'm successful for lots of reasons. Luck is definitely part of it. But I've read a business book a month, so I was 13. I probably visit more shops than maybe anyone in the industry. And when I was younger in this industry, like, I talked to everybody I could, and the home service industry has just shifted. It's now dominated by private equity, and they're not nearly as open as they. I used to be able to call a phone, like, fluff them up a little bit and say, "Hey, I really love to see your operation," and they would pull back the curtains because you weren't in their city. That doesn't happen anymore. So this is my way of kind of giving back to the industry and doing that on their behalf, if that makes sense.
It does. So obviously the question here is, who do you help? Home service businesses. Do you have a specific location, size, step of the journey they're in? Like, how do you select a business that you're going to take to potentially 9 figures, right? Because that's a strong promise, if you ask me.
Yeah, 9-figure business is a specific business that has the right leader. It's usually not in a really small town. It can be, but it's much harder, right? It's in a major city. But yeah, at the core of it, I think anybody who's brave enough to ask for help, I feel obligated to help. So we have programs from, $1 million plus, but where I'm going to come in is usually going to be that 10 million plus. Now you have middle management, you have a leadership team, you have some software and systems. Now it's creating simplification and scalability, as opposed to, if you're a truck in a truck, that's what you would call in the industry, somebody works from their house, right? Like, they may not want to get out of the field. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not a good fit for me, though, right? So, but we do have, like, definitely systems and processes, and we have a foundational platform for those people, but they're like, learn at your own pace kind of situation. No. For my team to get involved, you have to be more growth minded.
Yeah. So that does make sense. And how do you get in front of those people? Meaning, $10 million plus owners of home service businesses, you would know they're super busy, right? How do you, and I'm really talking about branding and marketing, and then we're going to talk about sales, which is one of your fortes. But, like, how do you brand? How do you market? How do you get an owner, COO, CFO of a $10 million plus home service business to be like, Josh, we need to have a chat? How does it work?
Well, it's complicated. So there's not like an easy solution to it, but it's just like any other business. You got to have multiple channels, and you have to attack people in multiple ways. So number one, simplicity in the industry I'm in, and HVAC, plumbing, and electrical specifically. Like, I'm recognized as the youngest GOAT in the industry. I've won awards. People, larger companies for the most part, know who I am, and that certainly helps a lot. And known from my previous successes, and all the people I've helped, they've all talked to each other. So there's a good piece of that. There's a ton of word of mouth. Like, our average client brings in 2 referrals within the first year, which is, that has a lot of traction and it wins a lot. We do paid ads. We do social media. We do events that are home service specific, right? We do our own events, kind of smaller scale mastermind stuff, but that's great content. And honestly, I learn just as much from that stuff. So it's selfishly done too. But to be the size and the success level that we are, you can't have one lead source and be effective. It's too risky. So we do a lot of stuff, and we have a fairly large marketing budget, and I have a multi-person marketing team that just goes out and gets in front of clients. And a big piece of that too is we have a free online community built on Circle. It's our own, custom app and custom branded, and we drive a ton of people to that. And eventually people ask, like, hey, I need help, and then we help them. And I'm a big fan of this is going down the marketing scheme from back in the day, but like, I'm a fan of the broken glass theory, right? If you have like a church glass mural, right? And a picture and its color and everything looks beautiful. Like, some people don't want to give that to somebody. I say give them the whole thing, but right before you hand it to them, slam on the ground, shatter it. It's like, here's everything you need to know, but you might need some help putting it together properly, right?
So it's a bit. I'm a huge fan of Alex Hormozy, which is give away the knowledge for free, sell the implementation. It's interesting. It's a bit of a reframe, like give the knowledge away for free, not in the right order, or like pieces by pieces, and then say, hey, sure, you can spend years figuring it all out, and by the way, the information is out there, or you can fast track by hiring us.
The thing is, consulting in general, if you don't do that, it's a dying industry in general, because AI is going to eat your lunch eventually. The access to information is not the problem anymore.
Agreed. So I love that, because that was going to be my point. I don't know if access to information was the value in the first place. I mean, internet is existing.
That's what they thought the value was. That's what they thought the value was. It wasn't the actual value. It's the implementation that matters.
I love that. And I would say selection and curation, and then implementation is what matters. Because, sure, go ahead and ask ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatsoever, and you're going to get a to-do list longer than my arm. French expression. I'm not sure we can say this in English, but you get the idea. And then good luck figuring out what works if it didn't hallucinate. So I didn't know the broken glass analogy, but I like it.
That's an old Russell Brunson. I don't know Alex Hormozy, but I've met him. I spoke on stage with him at ClickFunnels. But a 10x award, and I used to have a software business, a review software business that we won a bunch of awards, and Clover's won some awards from ClickFunnels back in the day too. I don't use ClickFunnels anymore, but that's an old Russell Brunson concept.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to put the pieces together, pun intended. I want to spend a bit more time on this, because a lot of consultants, but not only, coaches, professional services in general, they tend to lean heavily on their reputation, on word of mouth, on referral, and we're talking about much smaller, right, boutique consulting firms, high 6-7 figures, maybe high 7 figures, but that's it. And they're like, we never had to market because we purely work on the word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because you have the reputation, right? Started at Parkers and Son as well. What made you double down and invest on a multi-person marketing department, multiple channels? Why is that important? Why not just relying on your reputation, word of mouth, and referral, Josh?
I mean, you can. It's a choice. So at the end of the day, it's just what drives you, what excites you. I like building things. And at the end of the day, like, I don't do things for money anymore. I deserve and should make money, and I do make money. Like, don't be goofy about this. I've done very, very well and still continue to do very, very well. But I don't make financial-based decisions anymore, with the exception of my team. Like, if I want to really take care of my team and create generational wealth for people who work for me, then I have to really scale it.
Yeah.
So you can't, no matter how effective and how good your reputation is, you're never going to be able to scale a referral mainly business. It just has limitations to how large it can be and how long it takes to get there. So it's a decision I've made it everywhere I want to be. I don't want to be a company. I want to be the best company. I want to give the best service, create the best experience, create the best results. And that takes time, money, and effort. And you better have a lot of clients if you're going to spend a lot of time, money, and effort. Otherwise, this is a pretty painful game. So my comment to this is, like, it goes back to that chuck in a truck concept. There's nothing wrong with being referral based. 100%. There's nothing wrong. There's consistency to it. There's way less stress to it, different kinds of stress. But it's just not what excites me. And it's not what drives me. I can't take care of my team like that. I can't really even take care of my clients the way I would want to take care of my clients, unless I have lots of money flowing in to continuously invest and build things for them.
Yeah. I like that. I think the ultimate thing is also scaling or growing, even not even talking about scaling, but just growing, right? You cannot turn on and off the dial of referrals, right? If they come, they come. If they don't come, they don't come. Whereas,
I mean, a little bit, you can a little bit, but you're never going to get, maybe not never, maybe I'm being ignorant here, but you're not going to get, 25 referrals from every person that joins. That's a pretty hard game to play.
Agreed.
But I'm sure somebody's done it, and good for them. It's just, I haven't figured that out,
Same here, and I'm yet to see it. Okay, let's tie all these to revenue. So multi-marketing strategy, multiple people, multiple acquisition channels. How do you go from this attention, from this traction, from this, I want to talk to Josh, to a conversation, a sales conversation, an SOW, letter of engagement, we rock and roll? What does all this look like?
Yeah, it's a
for
funnel,
Clover?
just like anything else, right? So it's a sales funnel. So we have our community, that's our base entry level. Then we have a paid community above that. Then we have individual consulting above that. I have a whole team of coaches that consults underneath me. I do hop on consulting calls randomly because it's just like if I show up to that call, number one, I could just deliver so much value, but just keeping that aware that like I could show up to any call. It's rare, but like it changes the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we have, high tiered in the partnership level as well, which gets, much more comprehensive. Then you're working with me directly, but those are, highly curated and, pretty heavily screened. Like I'm picking those by design and only a few of those a year. Cause they're multi-million-dollar deals. But they're also, really most of the time they're, mid 8-figure deals. But those are, they eat my life. It's a lot of work.
Do you give a heads up to your coaches before you jump into a coaching session with them? Or is it like, hey, surprise?
Hell no, surprise.
You keep them on their toes. I like that.
No, and because it also makes sure they're delivering a service that I would be happy with. It's
Love that.
Verify. You know what I mean? So if you don't inspect those, and by the way, we record every call like everybody else. We run through AI. We have a coaching AI that we built for our coaches. Nice. So we get, whenever things aren't out of whack, we have a pretty good idea, but it's not the same as me just showing up.
Yeah. Curveball question for you, which I didn't get here. How do you transfer authority to your coaches? What I mean is, and we are seeing it with ourselves as well, people are much more likely to comply now than they were 3 years ago. The advice is still the same, right? Talk to people you can do business with, build relationships, and some of them will turn into clients. Do this for a long time horizon enough, and enough repetitions, and you grow your business. Pretty basic. And this is what we've been doing. But I'm noticing now that people comply much easier, much faster, and we're talking about higher level people in the sense of like the business size that they have, than 3 years ago. And I attribute this to the brand that we've built, the results that we are able to showcase, so like proof.
Yeah.
How do you transfer this authority to the coaches that are not, they are not Josh Kelly?
Yeah.
How do you get your ultimate clients to comply with the advice that the coaches, but yet not Josh, give them so that they can get results in their business?
Well, let me answer this two ways, and one with like giving you some credit that you're probably not. It's not that it's easier to get people to buy into stuff and to believe in the process, and you're building a better business. And when you build a better business, it's easier. So the reason it's gotten easier for you is because the business is probably set up drastically better. So that's your experience. Some people have the exact opposite experience because their businesses are getting worse, right? Mm-hmm. Or staying stagnant, which is just the same, right? So if you consistently create a better experience, it's easier to get people to do what you ask them to do. From my side, like how do I create authority with my coaches? The truth is they're never going to have the authority I have. And that's not the goal. The goal is for me to back up their authority, not only with guarantees, but with if my coaches are having problems with a client, then I'm going to hop in and make turnaround. No one's going to lose their business because they didn't have all the right answers. Right. So some personal integrity is a piece of that. But the truth is, it's just like anything else. Like I train the show. I spend a lot of time with it. I do a lot of proximity training. I give them a lot of content, a lot of feedback. I create systems and processes where I could take somebody who's a B player somewhere else, and with me, they're an A+ player. So it's training and processes like no different than if you're a pest control company and you're going spraying for bugs, or you're an accountant. Like if you just give them and say, you're a good accountant, figure it out. Like that's not the same experience as creating AI right now and doing all the data input and double checking it, using one AI to check the other AI. Like that solves a lot of problems, right? So you just make their life as easy as you possibly can, give them as much resources as you possibly can, and then constantly develop them.
Amen to that. Which is actually the perfect segue into retention. So you come in, you help a business grow literally drastically. I think the figures on your website are like 35% on average year per year, which is
Yeah, this
insane.
year our average client's up a little bit over 50%, but
This
yeah.
is insane. And I guess that kind of answers the question of like how do you retain, but I'm still gonna ask it because then I'm interested into understanding how you deliver such results and therefore I suspect retain customers. How does retention work at Clover Growth Partner? You come in, you help them solve their problems, and they what? And then what?
So there's two major reasons you lose retention if you're delivering results. Number one, you got to deliver results. So like if their business isn't growing, at the end of the day, we don't like it's their business. They could do whatever they want, right? Like it's not necessarily entirely our fault, but it's our fault if they're not aware of why it's not growing and they don't have the solutions how to do it. And they don't have the mindset and like we're not poking at the pain to make sure that they're really paying attention to it. So there's a lot that we can control and a lot we can't control, right? So number one, you have to deliver incredible results. Number two, you have to make sure you're getting credit for those results too. So like, it's very easy. Oh, my business is growing 50%. But I hired this great salesperson that's doing so many sales. It's like, for sure, that's true. How'd you interview him? Oh, with the process that we put together. Oh, what ad did you use? Like, so you don't want to like be in their face, but you have to like continually remind them how you're helping them. Otherwise, great clients will leave and come back. But like, that's not a good experience for either party for them not to understand the value that they're getting, right? Third thing is you got to constantly develop new things. Especially from a consulting standpoint, if you're continuing to hit the same things with the same angles and the same solutions, like that solution didn't work for them for a reason. And there's not a one size fits all. You have to constantly be developing and becoming better and better. And really, we do have, I wouldn't say we have a retention issue. Our retention's over 90%. But we do have like issues that happen. One of the big issues we have is like we help these businesses grow and there's so much private equity, like they sell and then we lose a client. And that kind of sucks actually. But good for them. Like that's actually a win and you did
100%.
celebrate that, but it still kind of sucks. And then, you know, it's some version of selling or, you know, they get to a point of comfort.
Yeah.
Right. And a business will stop growing when the person in charge gets comfortable. And then we're just not the right organization for you if you don't really want to grow. So those are the two reasons we have retention issues. I wouldn't say it's compared to a normal consultant but like every client we lose, like I have a simple mantra, like I'm not unrealistic. We will lose clients. It's inevitable, right? But it's not okay to lose a single one. Which means every time we lose a client, there is a conversation. What did we do well? What did we screw up? What could we have done better? Have those exit interviews, figure out actually what happened, make sure the relationship is great, right? And that we didn't screw anything up or create a bad experience, which, you know, occasionally we do. Yeah. It's pretty rare, but it happens. And we fix those going forward and with that client. So there's a lot of shit to it. I don't know. I feel like I just rambled way too much, but there you go.
And so, no, I liked it, and I very much like the we are going to lose clients, but it's not okay to lose a client. I like that. That. And obviously the conversation with the coach, the CSM, whoever is in charge, but the client itself, right? It's like, hey, just help us understand. And the PE is on a rampage in the home service business space. Like sure. It is insane. What do you think is that?
Home services historically is an undervalued business because it's not sexy. No one wakes up and is like, I want to be a plumber today, right?
So interesting.
No one wakes up and is like, I want shiny pipes in my walls or new, like there's nothing sexy about it. It's a grudge purchase. Like every time you have a plumbing, air conditioning, or electric problem, it's not a good experience. Like you're calling annoyed because it's 116 outside and your AC doesn't work. Oh shit, it's bad, right? Yeah. But from a monetary standpoint, it was ignored because it's not sexy. It's not fun. No one brags that they're a plumber. You know what I mean? From the monetary side, though, it's recession resistant. Like it does not matter if you're in Phoenix and you know you could lose your job, but you will figure out a way to make sure you have AC. Yeah. Right. You will not go without running water or a leak. Like it is what it is. So that's really, really valuable. It's COD. There's no terms, right? You get paid the moment you get done. It's high margin, high frequency purchases, right? It's
Yeah.
the average person uses an air conditioning company every 2.2 years, a plumbing company every 2.4, electrician every 2.6. So like there's some residual. Yeah, there's some residual usage, right? And there's big ticket items associated with it too, right? An AC unit, depending on where you are, it could be anywhere from 12,000 to 25,000, a big ticket item at the end of the horizon. So monetarily, fiscally, it's an incredible business to be in there, incredibly stable, and have high growth opportunities. Like I remember when I got into this industry, like if you were like a $20 million shop, it's like, holy shit, how are you doing that? Right? Because we're all paper invoices and like, not to age myself too much, but we have map books. There was no GPS. I'm like, Excel's like, where's my next call? Can you give me directions? Right? Yeah. Like the technology has changed so much. Now, a $20 million shop, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a well-run shop. Yeah. Like, $100 million shops didn't exist. Now there's probably 60 or 70 of them across the United States.
Still flabbergasted. But no, I guess that makes a lot of sense. It sounds like a very attractive business to invest in or just purchase.
From a pure monetary standpoint, it's an incredibly sexy business. From a physical work aspect, it's like no one wants to do that shit. You know what I mean?
Which is why there is money in it.
That is correct.
I'm such a fan of unsexy businesses.
Oh, they're the best. They are the best.
And again, it's a Alex Hormozy thing, but I think it's so true. It's like the sexier the business, the more people want to get into it, the lower the opportunities.
Correct.
Like trash collection. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Say the guy saying this sitting on his chair comfortably just recording a podcast episode. But you see what I mean. Josh, I like your style. And honestly, congrats on what you've built. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball question at you now. Well, it's the second one, actually. What is your number one challenge right now? What is the one nut that you guys at Clover are trying to crack that, once you crack, you take the whole thing to the next level, if that's even the point, right? Because one could argue. But so what's that one thing for you at the stage you're at?
So I'm going to answer this two different ways. I'm going to answer personally. I'm going to answer with Clover because these are different answers. For Clover right now, the truth is we're moving away from a consulting model to a more of a community model. I see the writing on the wall with the access to information. Like I have to moving straight into consulting to moving to much more of a bunch of really inexpensive SaaS-based AI tools, right? You can't be expensive because anybody can rip you off anymore, right? To a high experiential, which we already do, but it was on the consulting side. I have to shift the model altogether to creating a really, really strong self-sustaining community. And that's how Clover is going to thrive over the next 5 years. So that's a transition that right now, none of my competitors are taking seriously at all. I'm on the forefront of that. And because of that, I'll murder them. From my perspective, Clover, I spent a lot of time in Clover, but I own businesses across the United States. I do this consistently. Like I just can't help myself. I just love building things and helping people. So I always get to points where like I've taken on too much and I need to figure out how to scale myself more effectively. And I'm going through one of those growth curves right now. So like I own home service businesses. I really started that 3.5 years ago because, didn't have a non-compete anymore, all this stuff, right? So it went from 0 to this year we'll do 150 million without any acquisition. That's all, growth. Hopefully with some acquisition we'll be, scratching at maybe 200. But right now we're easily going to hit 150. Like I've got that, and I got meetings every other week with partners on that, right? And then I'm on board seats, and I got meetings consistently on that, and I got Clover on top of that, and I got real estate businesses, and so I've really stretched myself. And I need to reinvent how, I freaking wrote a book, right? And I'm interviewing with literary agents and publishers, and I do too much. And right now I need to figure out not how to do less. Like some people just do less. That's just not who I am. I love momentum and forward progress, but I need to reinvent myself and become more scalable again. So one's a Clover issue, one's a me issue. I'll figure it out. And in the meantime, I'm working crazy hours, and I know this is, I believe in seasons in life. Right. This is a season where it's rough, but I take pride in having more discipline than everybody else.
Amen to that. I mean, yeah, love it. Same vibe. Josh Kelly, ladies and gentlemen. Josh, if people want to find out more about you, see what you do, join the community, where should they go?
Go with growwithclover.com. Also, if you're good with it, I'd love to just put a link for the community in the show notes. So we'll send that to you
100%.
afterwards. It'll be in the show notes. And if you're in the home service space or adjacent to it, come join it, man.
We will put all the links in the description. For what I'm concerned, I can say one thing for sure is that you've gained at least one new connection on LinkedIn out of this interview.
There you go.
Josh, I just sent you an invite, and I see we have some fancy people in common. So looking forward to debriefing this. Josh, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll put everything in the description. See you next time. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Principal Podcast. We hope you've learned valuable lessons and strategies to grow your firm and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.